What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? No shot! No shot! Oh my gosh!
We went to international experts to validate the design. Regretfully, we found 21 significant findings that indicated that the current design was flawed.
Some bridges are built to be functional. Others are built to be famous. Houston tried to build the second kind and paid for it in ways nobody anticipated. The original design was truly breathtaking. But it was also, as it turned out, structurally unsound. And that became apparent when a bridge that had been designed by the same engineering firm collapsed in Miami, which in turn prompted Houston's project to be audited, and what came back was damning. And so, 300 million of completed work that had already been completed by this engineering firm was demolished. The new instructions for building a new bridge were clear.
We're going with the standard. We're going with Old Faithful. We're going with the standard design that secures the best cost and schedule for the county.
We don't care about aesthetics, just build something that works. And that's exactly what is being done as we speak. The new bridge is set to open in 2028. Now, to understand how we got here, let me take you all the way back to the beginning. In 2017, Harris County made a big announcement. They were going to build something extraordinary. 2 big cable-stayed bridges spanning the Houston Ship Channel. The kind of bridges that end up on postcards and wins architecture awards. The price tag was $1.45 billion. And for a region that moves more petrochemical cargo than almost anywhere else on Earth, this was a reasonable price tag. The Houston Ship Channel handles roughly 247 million tons of cargo every year. And the existing bridges, the Fred Hartman Bridge, the 610 Ship Channel Bridge, and the Sam Houston Tollway Crossing were aging. Traffic was growing too. Something new had to be built. So the firm hired to design the new crossing was Fig Bridge Engineers. At the time, Fig was considered one of the best in the business. They had a reputation for designing bridges that looked like statements. That reputation was about to be put to the test with this bridge. Harris County signed off on the design, and construction crews broke ground. For a while, everything looked like progress. This is the story of how one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in Texas history became one of its most expensive cautionary tales. To understand what went wrong, you have to understand what made this design unusual.
For most of us, looking at the pylons, you wouldn't be able to tell anything is wrong, but experts say even with what's just been built, it's not structurally sound and must come down.
Most cable-stayed bridges use straight pylons. These are the tall vertical towers that rise cleanly above the deck. The cables run from the top of those towers down to the bridge surface in a classic fan or harp pattern. It's a proven system. It's predictable and has been tested across hundreds of bridges worldwide. But then Fig's design did something different. Their pylons weren't straight. They were curved, angled outward in what the designers called a dynamic angle geometry. The legs splayed apart as they rose, giving the structure a sculptural quality that looked striking in renderings. It was the kind of shape that photographs beautifully and wins design competitions. The problem is, physics doesn't care how something looks. When you introduce curves and angles into a load-bearing structure, forces don't travel through it in simple straight lines. Instead, you get what engineers call stress concentrations, or points where force builds up in ways that are hard to predict and harder to control. In a straight pylon, engineers can control these forces with high confidence. But in a complex curved geometry, you're working with what existing models can't reliably calculate. And that's exactly why Fig's design failed. Lead engineers working on the project later admitted in independent reviews that the force behavior in the curved pylon sections was difficult to predict with precision. In some areas, they were guessing how stresses would distribute under real load conditions like high winds, heavy traffic, thermal expansion, and the subtle vibrations of a structure settling over time. This wasn't necessarily negligence. Ambitious engineering always involves some degree of pushing beyond what's fully proven. But bridge engineering has a hard rule that overrides everything else. When you don't know, you don't build. And on the Houston Ship Channel project, that rule got blurred. An independent audit commission later would identify 21 separate areas of significant concern in the original design. These were not minor tweaks, but fundamental structural questions. We'll get to that in a minute. To be clear, none of this was caught before construction began, and steel was already rising. Tens of millions of dollars had already been spent. Then, about 1,200 miles away, a bridge designed by the same firm collapsed.
The FIU pedestrian bridge collapse that killed 6 people back in March. New video from FIU, courtesy of the Miami Herald, shows a time-lapse of the bridge from 3 different angles, composed of photos from different cameras around the university. At one point in the video, you see workers standing on top of the bridge.
On March 15, 2018, the Florida International University pedestrian bridge in Miami came down without warning. 6 people died. The bridge had been built using an accelerated construction method called ASATO, designed to minimize traffic disruption by assembling major structural sections off-site, then rolling them into place. FIG bridge engineers had designed it. The project had been praised as an example of innovation in urban infrastructure. Then it fell, while workers were on it and cars were passing beneath. The investigation that followed was devastating. The National Transportation Safety Board found that a critical structural node had been miscalculated. Engineers working on the project had identified cracking in the structure in the days before the collapse, and despite concerns being raised, the bridge had remained open to pedestrians. The crack wasn't treated as a warning. It was treated as something to monitor. For FIG, the fallout was severe, and for the Houston project, it was a trigger. Harris County officials and federal transportation authorities took a hard look at everything FIG had designed in Houston. The timing could not have been more uncomfortable. Work was actively underway. The new ship channel bridges were the most complex infrastructure project in the county's history, and they had been designed by a firm that had just presided over a fatal collapse. The independent audit that followed was commissioned specifically because of FIU. And what reviewers found in Houston wasn't reassuring. 21 areas of significant concern. Just to list a few, we are talking about wind load calculations that underestimated Gulf Coast hurricane exposure, foundation designs that raised questions about long-term stability in the soft, clay-heavy soils of the Houston Ship Channel, and stress modeling in the curved pylon sections that couldn't be fully verified. The FIU collapse hadn't caused these problems. It had simply given Harris County the reason to look and to take what they found seriously. Officials were now facing a decision that no project manager wants to face. Not just whether to pause, but whether to undo.
The redesigned bridge will use traditional steel cables underneath the concrete. FIG's original plans relied on only concrete, precast and hoisted into place. It was hailed as new technology, but after the Florida collapse, Trevino said it made sense to go back to what's worked for thousands of bridges around the country.
Demolishing work that has already been built is one of the hardest calls in construction. Not just because of the money, though. $300 million is a staggering amount to write off. It's because every major infrastructure project has momentum, contracts, schedules, and political commitments. The original design has champions, reversal looks like failure, and in public infrastructure, appearances matter. But Harris County made the hard call. FIG Bridge Engineers was terminated, and unfortunately, the existing pylon construction was marked for demolition, and the county went back to the drawing board with a new firm and a new mandate. Prioritize predictability over aesthetics. The redesign that emerged looked nothing like what FIG had proposed. Gone were the curved, dynamic angle pylons. In their place, straight towers, simple and vertical. Boring if you're looking at it from a design perspective. But from an engineering standpoint, the behavior of a straight pylon under load is well understood. The new design also shifted the deck structure. The original plan had relied heavily on the cable stay system to carry load. The redesign incorporated a composite structure with concrete and steel working together, which distributes forces differently and adds redundancy. If one system is stressed beyond expectations, the other provides backup. It is basically a bridge designed to be predictable rather than iconic. And that shift in priority, from statement making to safety first, required destroying everything that had already been built under the old approach. $300 million of steel and concrete dismantled. For context, that's roughly 20% of the entire project budget. Gone before a single car had driven across it. The new timeline pushed completion to 2028. The original target had been 2021. The total cost ballooned past $2 billion when revised estimates were factored in against an original budget of $1.45 billion. Those numbers are hard to sit with. But the alternative, which is proceeding with a design that independent reviewers had flagged in 21 separate areas in a hurricane zone, over one of the most economically critical waterways in North America, would have been harder.
I think it's good they're fixing it. That they messed it up in the first place sucks. We have to pay more money out of our pocket. But, you know, what can you do?
The Houston Ship Channel Bridge story doesn't end with the demolition. It continues with what the industry did next. The combination of the FIU collapse and the Houston audit triggered a wave of policy changes across American bridge engineering. The Federal Highway Administration tightened guidelines specifically around complex, non-standard bridge designs, the kinds of curved and angled structures that look striking but are harder to model. The new rules require more rigorous computational verification before any unconventional load-bearing element can be approved. Mandatory independent design reviews involving third-party engineers with no stake in the original design, assessing structural calculations before construction begins, became a standard requirement for federally funded bridge projects above a certain complexity threshold. The idea is simple. The person who designed something is not the best person to find its flaws. This sounds obvious. It's also something the industry had known for years, but inconsistently applied. FIU and Houston made it non-negotiable. There's a broader lesson here too, one that applies beyond bridges. Mega projects consistently underperform against budget and timeline projections. The research on this is exhaustive. Bent Flyvbjerg, the Oxford economist who has studied infrastructure projects across decades, found that 9 out of 10 major infrastructure projects come in over budget, and the average cost overrun for large bridges and tunnels is around 34%. Houston's overrun is running closer to 40% of the original estimate, putting it squarely in the company of projects like the Boston Big Dig and the Edinburgh Tram Network. The reasons are usually some combination of optimism bias, competitive bidding pressure to lowball estimates, and political incentives to start projects before the full scope of problems is understood. In Houston's case, you can add a fourth factor, the seduction of the iconic. There is real pressure on major public projects to justify their cost with their appearance.
Recently, commissioners approved $300 million to retool the project. Add that to the original price tag, and we're looking at around $1.3 billion. Garcia admits it's expensive, but says the alternative could be deadly.
A $1.45 billion bridge over a major shipping channel isn't just infrastructure. It's a statement about a city. And that pressure can pull decision makers toward designs that push engineering boundaries before those boundaries are fully understood. The Fred Hartman Bridge, which has stood over the Houston Ship Channel since 1995, is a cable-stayed bridge. It is also, as of 2024, considered structurally sound. It is, by any reasonable definition, a conventional cable-stayed bridge. And it works. The new ship channel bridges due in 2028 will look a lot more like the Fred Hartman than like FIG's original vision. That might feel like a retreat, like the city spent a decade and hundreds of millions of dollars to end up with something less impressive than what was originally planned. But the ships coming through that channel every day, 22,000 transits a year, don't need the bridge to be iconic. They need it to stand. The U.S. Coast Guard maintains 24-hour surveillance of the Houston Ship Channel. Vessel pilots guide ships through the waterway around the clock, navigating one of the busiest petrochemical corridors on Earth. Every transit is a logistical event. The stakes of a structural failure are almost impossible to overstate. So as you can see, this bridge became an engineering failure, but its redemption arc is one for the books. If anything major happens before it's finished, we'll be sure to update you. And if you learned something new, hit that subscribe button.